Hello folks, my name is Mark, and this is Why I Hate the World. How's everybody doing out there? So, I'm doing pretty good, if I do say so myself. It is hot as fuck down here, so, normally, I have the air conditioning and fans and stuff going, and normally I turn that shit off before I do a video, but, I'm fucking sweating my balls off, so if this noise comes in over the camera, fuck you, I don't even care. I'm just like, it's hot as hell here. Anyway, so this video is about the, Sikh, temple shooting that happened here a few days ago. And, first thing I'd like to say is my heart goes out to the families of the victims that are, and nobody deserves to go through this kind of tragedy. And it must make it harder when this kind of thing happens to somebody that you care about, and then you see people using the event to score fucking brownie points for their fucking political debates, And I'm sure the last thing that these people give a shit about is, like, hearing about the fucking fight over the Second Amendment when, like, somebody in their family just got killed. So I'd like to apologize in advance for that, because I'm going to be doing a little bit of that in this video, talking politics. Sorry, but that's what my videos are about and shit, so I don't know. There seems to be something on YouTube about people, like, making videos to capitalize on fucking tragedy and shit like that, and it's like, I don't know. So I want to apologize in advance for that. But anyway, so for those of you who live in places that have sane gun laws, that is, places outside of the United States, and you don't know the story behind this. Well, once again, it is my pleasure to inform you that one of our citizens has taken it upon himself to procure a gun and go and blow a bunch of people away. However, unlike the last time this happened, which was only 2 fucking weeks ago, right, at least this time, it doesn't seem to be a random act of violence perpetrated by a fucking deranged crazy person. This time the shooter was an ex-military, like, neo-Nazi, bottom-feeding scumbag piece of shit who, like, went apeshit with a pistol and killed killed 6 people at a Sikh temple, And then after he killed these people and a cop shot him, apparently this fucking waste of breath was like too chicken shit to face the music, and he shot himself. So that's what happened, Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that this guy, this was a hate crime because, and it was a hate crime, and it was probably directed towards Muslims because, nobody in the American general public they're pretty much unaware of the Sikh religion. Nobody knows what the fuck Sikhs are, right? And me personally, I only really knew what they were because at my job, one of the programmers is actually Sikh. He wears a turban and all that stuff. And and I ended up talking to him about it one of these days, about 6 years ago. So, but before that, I never even heard of him. I mean, there's only something like, there's less than 1 million people, followers of the Sikh religion in the United States, so it's a pretty good bet that most people have never met a Sikh before, and most people don't know the difference between a Sikh and a Muslim, so that's one thing, But, this racist piece of shit, he didn't give a fuck about all that, the fact that he was too fucking stupid to tell the difference between a Muslim and a Sikh, that didn't really come into his mind. All he really fucking cared about was killing some brown people, And it turns out that this temple was on the same block with the restaurant that his ex-girlfriend worked at, which is like, hey, that's probably why he went nuts. His girlfriend dumped him, he went crazy, and he wanted to go kill some brown people, and lo and behold, there goes a fucking temple right on the same block, and, and, I mean, so these people, they weren't guilty of anything, these people did nothing, right? Their religion isn't violent or repressive. I mean, I was reading about Sikhism, and it seems to be like, if you're talking about religions, it seems to be like fucking an awesome religion to live, to believe in. They believe in defending the religious rights of everybody. You know what I mean? Like, they seem to be like at least their religion seems to be a very progressive religion, especially for something that's like, developed in ancient times, right? As far as I can tell, I don't know, I'm no expert in this. Anyway, so they're not violent or repressive, they don't have, crazy fundamentalist wing to their religion as far as I can tell. I mean, at least not in the United States. I don't know, maybe they do in India or something. But, the only thing that these people were guilty of was being brown and being in the wrong place at the wrong time, which is just fucking, like, it's just vomit-inducing. It's just sickening to think that this kind of thing fucking happens in the United States in the 21st century, where, I don't know. So anyway, 2 weeks ago, in my video about the Batman theater shooting, I took the opportunity to suggest that maybe, just maybe, it's a little bit too easy for crazy people to get a gun, to get weapons in this fucking country, Maybe we need to put some limits on that so that deranged fucking psychopaths can't get their hands on fucking guns, And the Batman shooter seems to be certifiably insane. I mean, I don't know if you follow the story and if you've seen like footage of him in his in the courtroom, where he's like making those faces and shit, where he's just like, like that kind of thing, he seems to be fucking nuts. Okay, this guy, this racist sack of shit guy, who shot up the temple, he might have been unstable or like fucked up in the head or something, but he wasn't like deranged, okay? He wasn't crazy. He knew what he was doing. This is premeditated, He wanted to go blow a bunch of people away, And this was a man with a history in the white power movement. Excuse me. Apparently, he was in the armed forces and he was discharged, and they haven't come out and said if it was because of this or not, but, he got kicked out of the fucking army or the military, right? And he was in some like white power bands and shit like that, and he was legally able to buy this pistol and go kill these people. I mean, I think it's, both him and the Batman shooter both bought their guns legally, okay? And that's one of the arguments that the gun rights people use, when you want to put limits on the gun rights to keep people from doing shit like this. They always say stuff like, oh, well, criminals don't follow the law, so criminals will fucking buy their guns, they'll get them illegally, so why are you making us, why are you limiting us, our ability to defend ourselves? And it's like, fucking, these people didn't steal their weapons, okay? Like, they didn't buy them on the black market, they didn't steal them from other people, they bought them legally, alright? So if they didn't have the chance, in these two fucking cases at least, if they didn't have the chance to get these guns, this shit wouldn't have happened, alright? So that argument is just like, doesn't fly here. Speaking of that shit, there's another thing that I always hear, like, after the Batman shooting, there's a senator, I can't remember his name, but he came out and said, like, how come nobody shot back? That was another one. And then there's this thing in the news that I saw about a guy who went to go see Batman, and he had a bag full of, like, guns and knives and stuff in order to protect himself, okay? And it sounds like bullshit to me, but, who knows? Maybe it's true. Maybe he really thought that, hey, I could be the victim of a copycat killer, and I need to go armed, right? And it's just fucking like, what the fuck is the matter with people? First off, it's like, what is this, like the fucking Old West, alright, where everybody's armed and you go out in the middle of the street and have draw, what the fuck is that, dude? That's like, first off. Second, even if it was like that, like, why would you want to live in a country like that in the first place, okay? Fuck that shit. That's ridiculous. That's like, I don't know. I mean, and to these people that say that, people that say that I need to have, like, a fucking assault rifle to defend my home, it's like, are you planning on getting in any shootouts with drug dealers lately? I mean, what do you need an assault rifle for, What do you need a semi-automatic fucking assault weapon? Sorry, there's people that'll say, it's not an assault rifle, it's an assault weapon. Fuck you, whatever. Assault weapon, okay. What do you need one of those that you can't use a pistol or a shotgun? Like, I guess, like, if a fucking, team of chainsaw-wielding ninjas break into your fucking house or something and you need to have an AK-47, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like, the more you... It's like arguing with creationists, these gun lobby people, these gun rights activists, they're as bad as creationists in the ridiculousness of their arguments, you know, that just have no basis in fucking reality. Like, you know, it's embarrassing. But anyway. But, you know, why is it, I don't know. I mean, I think I don't really have much else to add, you know, except to say that the thing that I talked about last time probably would have prevented this also, you know. And my idea is, you know, I think personally that in order to own a gun, any kind of gun, okay, not just a fucking assault weapon, alright, but even a shotgun or a pistol or whatever, I think you should have to take a class and you should have to pass a test, and then you have to get a license the same way that you have to do this to get a driver's license. You know, they don't just hand driver's licenses to anybody, okay? You have to, like, you know, have X number of hours of experience and then fucking take the test, and then you have to take a fucking driving test, and then every couple of, you know, decade or so you have to take that written test again. And why do they do that? They do that to keep people who are incompetent off of the road. So you don't have people that don't know what the fuck they're doing driving and then causing all these fucking accidents and running into, like, you know, walls and, you know, blowing up fucking, you know, running through people's houses and shit and running people over. And that's why they do that, alright? That's why they retest you every, you know, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. And that's why when you get too fucking old in order to drive and you fail the test, your ass has to stop driving. Same thing should happen here. Okay, you should have to every couple of years, you know, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years or something, you know, you should have to go and renew that license, okay? And part of that should be a fucking background check to see if you're part of any fucking hate groups, alright? And if you're part of a hate group, your fucking gun goes away. That's what needs to happen here, okay? If you're insane, your gun needs to go away. If you've been in a fucking mental institution, right, your gun needs to fucking go away. Or you need to prove that you're not fucking crazy anymore, and there has to be, like, a process by which you can do that. You know, a doctor fucking certifies that I am not crazy. I get to have a gun. Whatever, alright? But something needs to fucking happen, okay? Because, you know, 2 mass murders within a 2-week time span, you know, what the fuck, dude? What is happening to this country, alright? You know, something's wrong, okay? Something's wrong in this country when, you know, it's easier to get a gun than it is to get a job, alright? It's just, shit is fucked up here, okay? And the people that are standing in the way of making it better, we need to fucking, I don't know, just something needs to be done. I'm out of here, folks. Adios.